Loadmaster's wave, and you might just see a wave back.
RAAF procured its first C-27J in 2015 and received Navy and also for border protection. Now that MESA multi-role electronically scanned array, nicknamed so considerable input, not just the computer.
He is controlling it, the computer's doing all the work, but he's monitoring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Delta Loop burst from straight ahead. Thank you for joining us. As we see the roulette rollbacks, the iconic roulette manoeuvre. 3 and 4 coming in from the rear again with red T to box loop.
Yes, unfortunately, but to help combat the strain of G-forces, the pilots wear a G-suit, which is pretty much just garters that cover you from the legs down, correction, from the stomach down, and they inflate with air so you can squeeze against it, and that helps keep the blood back up the body.
And you do a very special breathing technique too.
Yes, it's interesting to listen to, but it's called the hook breath, and again, it keeps the pressure up to the brain and the eyes, so it prevents you from passing out and losing vision.
And pretty much the easy way to describe it is, you know, when we were kids, we used to hold our breath to make our face go red. Similar sort of principle.
Yeah, the whole idea is to keep that blood flow up in the brain. So to keep all these manoeuvres are conducted on pilot training at RAAF Base East Sale and in Pierce.
And like we said before, these aircraft are the aircraft that anyone who joins the Australian Defence Force. They've got a very distinctive sound, the PC-21.
Yeah, it's a very, very nice note to listen to, especially when you get a few of them in the air at once. It really makes a nice sound.
Now, Roulette 2, Flight Lieutenant Alex Christensen, unique in the team that he actually transferred to the Air Force from the Army.
Yeah, correct. So Alex, he grew up in Yarra in Gippsland, and he originally...
3, can you get one more in?
Formation changes from the eagle to wedge.
Now the move we're seeing here is eagle to wedge formation change. What does that mean?
So you'll see the two aircraft on the outside of the formation slip back into what's called echelon on 2 and 3 to form a wedge shape.
Now the Roulettes are 55 years old this year, and over that time you might have seen the team fly the PC-9, the Mackie, but today obviously we've got the Pilatus PC-21, which is our Air Force training aircraft. So every pilot that joins the Australian Defence Force learns how to fly these aircraft.
Yeah, that is correct. So it is a bit of a powerhouse machine. So that's the whole idea of putting the PC-21 in front of you today, to show not only the capabilities of the aircraft, but also what our pilots are trained to do on pilots course.
Now we're seeing the formation change again. We're about to come into the leader's benefit, where we're going to see Squadron Leader Lockie Hazeldine, who's our Roulette leader, Roulette 1, in the lead, with the rest of the team in a line behind.
Yeah, that is correct. So Lockie's from Victoria. He grew up in Victoria. He did an aviation technology degree out of the Australian Defence Force Academy, where he went on to pilot training. Lockie then flew the AP3 Orion, which is now retired.
An interesting fact, they really do have a graceful look when they do their role.
These aircraft, they produced just under 15,500 for use by the US Air Force as the T6, the SNJ, which is the designation for the US Navy, the Harvard, and they flew right the way through until pretty much the 1980s military service.
And they've still got some pretty amazing manoeuvrability.
From the same source, North American Aviation. They were formed as a holding company.
Assisting Thargomindah and so forth with resupply of food and temporary accommodation.
It can lift about 25,000 pounds off of it.
Yeah, absolutely. We had it chock-a-block full. So John and Mark are doing a bit of a dip to the crowd, so let's give them a round of applause. That's a bit of an acknowledgement from an aircraft. The plane will dip the wings either side, the helicopters dip the nose.
The downwash from these is incredible. There is actually a formula that you can work out what the speed of the downwash is, and it can be up to about, I believe, about 100.
Flight Lieutenant James Dutchke, Roulette 6. We'll learn a bit more about each of those pilots a little later on, but I will tell you, they've all flown different types of aircraft right across the world, actually, Ando.
Yep, and they are greatly representative of what the Australian Defence Force stands for, flying the PC-21. I'll say relatively nice line astern there, ability of the machine there, even though the Australian...
They're coming through to what, about 60 knots right now?
Yeah, about 60 knots to drop that. As you can see, that stretched out for quite a few hundred metres. It controls the snorkel for sucking up the water. They'll extend that snorkel down into the water source.
Great opportunity to get some really good photos as he flies past above and slow.
This is the primary airlift.
T130J, because I've spoken to a lot of pilots over the years and they absolutely love flying this aircraft.
It's a big aircraft. It handles really well for such a big aircraft. It's got a lot of power, as you can see there. Trains is really manoeuvring that aircraft in a very tight area there. So even though it's such a big and bulky platform, it's really responsible.
That's what you